Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is my birthday. For my birthday, I think one fun thing that we can do is that like a few weeks ago, I asked you guys to send me some questions on both my Instagram and on my YouTube. And I have them right here on my phone. And I thought it would be fun to answer them. Let you guys know a little bit more about me and also have some fun on my birthday. I got a bottle of 7-Eleven, which I'm gonna drink. Ooh, look at that hiss. Now, I don't normally drink pop. Like, I never drink pop because I know it's unhealthy as shit, but it's my birthday, so I get to drink some. It really is all about the simple things in life, just like learning to appreciate the little things. So anyways, let's answer the first question. Do you want kids? Actually, yes. I mean, if I were to have kids, I would want to have a kid with a partner. I kind of dream about having a partner and having like 2 kids together, one that's like that has my genes and one that has his genes. And that's kind of like my ideal family life. That's kind of like what I've been manifesting for myself. It hasn't happened yet, obviously, but like I'm still waiting for the day. But I think eventually when I hit 35 and I still don't have anyone, if I still haven't had my first relationship yet, then I think I'll just end up getting a child anyways, because I think at that point, man, once I hit 35, I think like the guy's not coming. What is something you dream of doing and why haven't you done it? That's such a nice question. So one thing that you might not know about me is that I really like performing arts. So I used to dance a lot, and before dancing, I used to act a lot. I was a drama kid. I think when I was in Canada while I was working, I did a few acting classes. I had the intention of finding an agent and trying to get on commercials and pursue more of an acting career. But I don't know, I think just real life got ahead of me. You know, I just had to work to pay some bills and like post office exhaustion and like too many priorities. I was also deeply insecure with myself. Like this was during a part of my life where I like was trying my best to look my best so that I can chase after the validation of hot boys, and that took priority over like my passionate pursuits of acting. Yeah, like it's all a bunch of excuses anyways. If I really wanted it, I probably could have been able to find the time. Now that I am much more free in terms of like my mental capacity, I feel like a lot more clearer mentally. I think, yeah, if I find like a Vietnamese acting coach or like a Vietnamese agent or something who would be able to like slot me in the background somewhere, I would love to like pursue acting again. Even if it's just like something minor, even if it's just for background roles. I just love being a part of the film making process, just like to watch everything. Yeah, and that's just something that I've always wanted to do, but I don't know how I'm gonna pursue it now that I'm in Vietnam, right? Because like, you know, I don't really speak Vietnamese that well. But let's just say if the opportunity ever arises, I'm gonna take it. What's your recommendation for things to do / eat for tourists in Saigon? I'm visiting in January. Oh, okay. Well, things to eat. If you haven't eaten at Pizza 4Ps yet, I think you would like it because everyone loves to go there. And I have to admit, it's really good. It's very affordable. I mean, it's very high quality for the price that you're paying. I wouldn't say it's super affordable. Nah, I think it is affordable. I mean, I just think it's good, so you should go there. Things you should do. Well, in Vietnam, we kind of just have like a huge drinking scene, and like there's like lots of bars and clubs and places to like party. But if you're more interested in like the cultural things, I would recommend going to like the War Museum. But if you are gonna go to the War Museum, I would plan something very fun afterwards, because while the War Museum is very enlightening, it's also quite depressing, I have to admit. You're gonna see some heinous shit in there. But I think it's worth going because I think everyone needs to see the realities of the horrors that people go through during war. I think it's something that everyone should look at. But definitely plan something fun to do afterwards. Also, Vietnam has a lot of all-you-can-eat buffets. I'd highly recommend going to like Meat and Meat or Shabuya or just like any of the buffets that are like at the hotels and stuff, because I think they're all worth it for the price. You get like really good food for like a fraction of the price in like Western countries, right? So I recommend going to buffets here. Are you single? Yeah, I've been single, man. I have been single for pretty much my entire life. I mean, I did have like one boyfriend when I was in university, but it was always like a long-distance relationship. So basically, I met this guy when I was vacationing in Ho Chi Minh City, and we had like one fling. We hooked up once, and then I asked him if he was willing to be more serious about it, and he was. And we were in a long distance relationship for the entire time I was in Vancouver after I came back for school, and that was like for almost an entire year. And during that time, like, I don't know, I just didn't harbor strong enough feelings for him. It was definitely my fault. Like, he was a very sweet guy, he was very nice, but I think when I asked him to be my boyfriend, I just did it more because like I wanted a boyfriend, not because I wanted him, you know what I mean? I just wanted to have that label. Like, again, it goes into me like wanting to prove myself, wanting to validate myself. So I thought having a boyfriend would make me look better or something. It's just really bad, really toxic. Anyways, yeah, I broke up with him. It was a 1-year long distance relationship. And the reason why I don't really count it was because, like, again, like, my feelings weren't super strong. It was more so like I wanted the label of a boyfriend. And it was just really terrible, you know? Of me, not him. He was a great guy. And I just, you know, if he's watching this, if you're here, you know, I wish you the best. I really hope you found someone who, like, appreciates you and respects you more than I ever did. Because, yeah, like, you really deserve it. But yeah, since then, I've never really really been in a relationship. I feel like every person that I've ended up having strong feelings for, they don't like me back, which is fine. But yeah, it's just been a string of bad luck, and I'm still looking for him. How old are you? I am 29. Well, I'm 28 right now, but by the time you see this video, I'll be 29. Who is your celebrity crush if you have any? Oh, I don't really have a oh, that's a lie, sorry. Wonho. Oh man, like big and juicy. Man, if I could ever be that big and juicy, or have a guy that is that big and juicy, I'd be set for life. JK, I mean, I know it's not all about the physical attractiveness, but a man knows his weakness, you know? Just big ass titties, and he's got really big titties. What is your favorite song? Ah, okay, well I have several. Ready for some Brian lore? So, one of my favorite songs is Cold Water by Major Lazer and Justin Bieber, because there was a period of time when I was living in China. So while I was in university, I did a co-op work term, and I did a work term in China working as an English teacher. And while I was there, none of my songs were sticking to my iTunes. I was using iTunes at the time because the internet was so bad and my VPN was just like really shitty. And like, it was so shit. So like, I only had like 3 songs like that were like synced into my phone. It was Studio Ghibli's Arrietty song. What was that? What was the third one? I don't remember. But anyways, it was just those 3 songs. Every day on my commute, on my walk to work, I would listen to those 3 songs on repeat. And out of those 3 songs, I liked Cold Water the best. So I'd usually just listen to that one on repeat. So it would be just me trudging through the rain and the snow and the wind, wet and shivering in my boots, just like listening to Cold Water as cold water is being splashed on my face. And yeah, every time I listen to the song, it just like brings up that memory. And I also just really like the song, and it just like, it takes me back to China immediately. And the next 2 songs that are really special to me and that are basically my favorite are Paper Walls by Rez, On My Own by Blau, and Young, the remix by the Chainsmoker, but like remixed by Kid. So these 3 songs kind of helped me through a really terrible time. They were already kind of my favorite songs because like I just really like the beat and that kind of stuff. But then when I was going through a very rough time in Canada, like I would listen to these songs like on repeat, and it's like that thing where you listen to a saddish song, it like makes you even more sad, but it also makes you feel better for some reason. It's kind of like that. So like it made me feel worse, but also better at the same time. And now it's just become like my anthem. But like every time when I'm going through like a difficult time or when I need a pick me up, I just listen to those 3 songs. They always make me feel better, or like when I'm really sad, they make me really feel my feelings even more. And yeah, it's just those 3 songs. I think like everything about it just like speaks to me. It just makes me feel better. I don't know what it is about it, but yeah. How are you now from feeling tumble? Feeling more open to talk about it yet? Thank you for asking me this question. So a little while ago, I like posted on my story that I was going through a tumble, and I posted this on my story, and so many of you like reached out to me and like asked me how I was doing. That made me feel a lot better. So thank you guys all for doing that for me, for like, you know, watching out for me, checking in on me. But anyways, yeah, I was going through something, and I guess, yeah, I'll talk about it. Where do I even begin? So I won't go into the specifics of the event, but I will say I was very disappointed and sad with myself because I encountered something that I thought that I should be over. Like I thought I should be over this thing, but for some reason it just hurt me really deeply. I grew up my entire life as the ugly duckling. Like for almost the entirety of my life, I've never felt like I was good looking enough to be with the peers that I was with. And like this happened like even from the start of like from high school, you know? Like it would just be like small things that people would say that would like, you know, that would be like evidence of my unattractiveness. Like for example, in high school, in my grade, I was one of 2 Brians. So there was another Brian that was in the same grade as me, and you know, he was a jock. He did sports, he was smart, blah, blah, blah. And like, you know, one time someone referred to us as, oh, the hot Brian and the other one. And you know, that was just like one moment of many instances where I would feel like I was the lesser option, or like the one that wasn't as good, or like the one that isn't the priority. And unfortunately, this happened to me again when I was in university. And it was just like really unfortunate because like when I was in this community in Vancouver, there would be so many times where like, for example, I would start liking someone or having a small crush on someone. As we're talking, I'd realize that he wasn't actually that interested in me. But then later on, I'd realize that he was actually interested in talking to me. And then, you know, later on, even more later on, I would realize that that guy like ended up hooking up with him or ended up being in a relationship with him, or, you know, something like that. It was just this constant routine of me realizing that like I wasn't as good as my peers, as my friends, you know. I hung out with some like attractive friends as well. And it would be that thing where like, you know, people wanted to like talk to my friends, but like not to me. And like, it's just like this constant reminder that I wasn't as good looking as other people. And so it kind of led to me developing this desperation almost, or like this need for me to like validate myself. And I would do that by chasing after hot boys and like hooking up with hot boys so that I could feel like I was as good as those those hot guys that I was hooking up with, right? Because if they liked me, that must mean that I was as good as them, right? I was as good looking as them, and that was just like one way for me to like validate myself, to prove to myself that I wasn't as bad as everyone was making me out to be, you know? And it got pretty bad. Like this is a mentality that I have been struggling with for pretty much my entire 20s, and I still struggle with it today. I feel like I'm a lot better, but like it still happens. This mentality, like this desperation to like chase after guys to prove myself, this has been like such a long going issue, and it has gotten me into like a lot of really sticky situations before, and it's just overall really terrible. And my tumble, the thing that recently happened was, recently I got into a situation where like this exact same thing happened again, where like someone who I was with ended up going after someone that I liked, and they liked each other, and I felt like sidelined basically. And I felt like all those negative feelings that have been bubbled within me for like a decade, for more than a decade, like it like all came bubbling up to the surface, and I just felt so mad and disappointed with myself, because I thought, Brian, like you're over this, you know, like you already spent so long getting over this, like growing, you made so much progress in your mental health and your mentality of like not really needing to validate yourself with boys anymore. So like, why is it that you feel so hurt? Why do you feel this way? And I was just like really disappointed in myself, and I was just like spiraling because of it, because I thought that after all these years of doing really stupid shit, I thought that I was over it. I thought that I was finally on the path of becoming someone new, someone who is confident, someone who doesn't need to validate himself anymore. And then suddenly this thing happens, and I feel myself feeling those exact same feelings again, and me being hurt from this kind of thing again. And like I felt like I shouldn't feel hurt. It was just so disappointing to me, and I was just really angry at myself. And I ended up going on a really long because I can't afford therapy, I went to ChatGPT, and I was basically talking to ChatGPT and asking it about why I was feeling this way, and like what it means for me and that kind of stuff. And actually ChatGPT was really helpful. So if you need therapy and you can't afford it, ChatGPT is a really good option, okay? I mean that jokingly, by the way. If you have serious issues, please consider therapy. But like for me, I use ChatGPT. But anyways, as I was going through this, one thing that I kind of like re-remembered or re-realized through processing everything was that growth isn't something that is like linear. Just because I've grown doesn't mean I'm not immune to the feelings of being hurt. And a sign of growth is basically how you learn to manage those feelings, not you being immune to them. As ChatGPT says, growth isn't about never feeling those old feelings again. It's about learning how to manage those feelings when they come up again. And I realized that now that like those feelings of hurt that I felt in the moment of me being triggered by this, you know, specific incident that like made me think back to all those times where I got rejected and hurt. Those feelings of hurt is just the past Brian. It's just the inner Brian, the child Brian who was neglected and overlooked for all those years. That's just him freaking out because he is scared that I'm gonna go through such a terrible time again. So those feelings of hurt is just like a reminder. It's just the past Brian, the smaller Brian, trying to warn my body about what's to come. Now that I'm more of an adult, I realize now that I have the capability of recognizing why I feel this way. And because I know why I feel this way, I'm able to cultivate a way for myself to like remove myself from the situation and reassure myself that, you know, it's all gonna be okay. It's just a self-defense mechanism, basically. The feelings of hurt is just my body reacting to the past. But anyways, yeah, I was just feeling really sad because I felt like I was going backwards, you know? I felt like all those years I spent like working out, really trying to improve myself, all that time meditating and journaling and digging into my thoughts and reflecting. I felt like all of it was going to waste because it felt like at the time, like none of it mattered because I was still feeling this hurt and this troubled by something that I felt like shouldn't be troubling me anymore. But now I'm okay because I realized that these feelings isn't proof or evidence of me going backwards. It's just showing me that there's still more room for healing to happen, and that, like, you know, at the end of the day, it's okay, because it's okay to want to feel prioritized. It's okay to want to feel wanted. It's okay to want someone to feel excited to be with you. And that just the fact that I'm like even reflecting on this is like a sign of improvement in itself, you know? Like I don't need to be so hard on myself. I can be critical, I can think back and reflect on things, but I don't need to beat myself up anymore. You know, it's okay to feel bad sometimes. It's okay to feel these feelings because again, it's just the past Brian, it's just the past me trying to protect myself. But anyways, yeah, that was why I was tumbling a little while back. Just something really triggered me and I was just spiraling, you know? But anyways, yeah, thank you for coming to my TED Talk and thank you for asking that question. Best cafe for daddies to meet twinks in Saigon. Well, I don't know about that because I don't know if you're asking the right person because I'm not a daddy and I don't go looking for twinks. and also a cafe. I think there's only one gay cafe here. It's called like Pride Cafe or something. I've been there once and there were twinks in there, so you can try that maybe. Was it difficult transitioning between Canada and Southeast Asia as far as interacting with other gay men? Well, not necessarily. I wouldn't say it was difficult, mainly because like I look Asian and also I am Vietnamese, so I can speak the language. So it was easier for me to connect with like the Vietnamese locals. I will say it's a little bit more difficult to befriend them. Like it's easy to, you know, like know enough to like just to hook up and that kind of stuff, but like to make like a genuine connection. I think like in the 3 years I've been here, I think I've made like just like a handful, maybe like 2 or 3 gay people who I can truly call friends, you know? So no, I don't think it was challenging to transition myself here. Is there a difference between Taiwanese and Vietnamese guys? Who are your celebrity crushes? I mean, I don't think I know enough about Taiwanese guys to know if there's a real difference between the two, you know? Like I've only been in Taiwan for like 4 or 5 days, right? So yeah, I do not feel qualified answering that question, but they're hot. But anyways, yeah, those are all the questions that you guys sent me. That was fun. Thank you guys again so much for continuing to stay with me on this journey and like just like checking in. It really is nice to know that like I have a small community here on YouTube that like, you know, actually give a shit. It's a very nice thing to have and I'm very grateful for that. So yeah, let me know if there's anything else I can do for you guys. Like if you guys want to know anything about anything gay related in Asia, like I'll do my best to answer your questions and yeah. Stay in touch. Maybe I'll do another one of these. But anyways, yeah. Thanks for tuning in with me. And I guess I'll just see you guys next time, okay? All right, bye.